Anna had always prided herself on her independence. Tonight, though, the road home had become a labyrinth of darkness and dread. As she drove down the isolated lane leading to her country house, a sudden, violent thud jolted her from her reverie. Her car swerved uncontrollably and crashed into a building. The impact left her dazed, her heart hammering in her chest. Stumbling out of the wreckage, Anna's phone was dead, no signal. The silence of the night was unnervingly complete, broken only by the occasional whisper of wind through the trees. As she surveyed the wrecked car and the twisted metal, she spotted a faint, flickering light in the distance, obscured by the thick surrounding darkness. Determined to find it, Anna ventured down the road, the light seemingly dancing away from her, never getting any closer. The path was narrow and overgrown, the branches clawing at her clothes as she walked. The air grew colder and a sense of being watched settled heavily over her. After what felt like an eternity, Anna emerged into a clearing. An old, decrepit house stood there, its sagging porch illuminated by a single, flickering lamp. The light cast grotesque, writhing shadows that seemed almost alive. Despite the sense of foreboding, Anna felt a desperate need to seek shelter. As she approached the house, the front door creaked open on its own, as if beckoning her inside. The interior was a relic of neglect. Cobwebs draped over dust-covered furniture, and a damp, musty smell permeated the air. Anna's flashlight flickered ominously, the beam casting erratic patterns on the walls. A soft, rhythmic scratching sound from the basement caught her attention. Her heart raced, but curiosity overpowered her fear. She descended the stairs, each step echoing eerily through the empty house. The basement was dimly lit by a single swinging bulb, casting a sickly yellow glow. In the center of the room, an old wooden chair stood, its seat stained dark with what looked disturbingly like blood. Strapped to the chair was a figure shrouded in darkness, their face obscured by a blood-splattered mask. The figure's hand dragged a knife across the floor in a methodical, chilling rhythm, the blade leaving a trail of dark stains. Anna's flashlight slipped from her grip as the figure's head twisted unnaturally to face her. Its eyes, visible through the mask, glinted with malevolent glee. The voice that rasped from behind the mask was unnervingly calm. "You've been driving in circles. This place, it never ends." Panic surged through Anna. She turned to flee, but the basement seemed to stretch, the stairs elongating and twisting. The house itself seemed to come alive, with shadows reaching out as though trying to pull her back into the darkness. The sound of the knife scraping against the floor grew louder, more frenetic. Bursting through the front door, Anna ran through the clearing, her breath coming in ragged gasps. The path back to her car seemed to stretch infinitely, as if the road itself was mocking her desperation. Every glance over her shoulder revealed the house growing smaller, yet always within sight, as if it was pursuing her. Finally reaching her car, Anna threw herself inside and started the engine. As she sped away, the trees seemed to close in on her, the darkness pressing closer. She kept her eyes fixed on the road ahead, the unsettling sensation of unseen eyes watching her back. Even as she reached the safe